can't figure out how to get in the frame. Hey guys, how are you? Today's topic is how millionaires become billionaires and what the heck that has to do with selling timeshare. By the way, I wanted to point out, I flipped the camera, so if for some reason I can't figure out how to make, look at this, check this shirt out, billionaire in the making. Do you not love this? Some crazy stuff, right? Like, would you wear this shirt? This is billionaire in the making. What's going on, guys? When you come in, drop what resort you are from and say hello and where you're coming in from. I'm in the beautiful downtown, well, not downtown Seattle, but Seattle, and check out the beach across the street. So gorgeous over there. And I want to talk to you today about how millionaires become billionaires and what the heck that has to do with timeshare sales, right? And so first of all, I had to buy this shirt when I saw it a couple days ago because number one, when you think big, you achieve big. And I talked about this the other day somewhere, maybe it was in one of my trainings for my mastermind, the 1%, and it was about the power, oh no, it was on my Instagram story. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, you might want to @JoniDillon. And we talked about the power of the subconscious mind. Hey guys, let me know where you're coming in from. The power of the subconscious mind and how your subconscious mind is always listening. Your subconscious mind is always listening to everything that you are saying when it comes to the thoughts and the beliefs in your head that are creating your reality. So guess what? When I rock this billboard to myself and to the world proudly and say to my unconscious mind, who continues to see this and starts getting the message that someday, yeah, she's on the track to being a billionaire. Why not, right? So hey, let's talk about this. I want to talk to you about what happens, what makes a millionaire turn billionaire. Hey guys, let me know where you're coming in from in the chat. Drop your resort below, and let's get this live going. So what makes a millionaire become a billionaire is this. Hey, what's up, Nikki Wise? How you doing, buddy? What happens is this. In order to take your game from a millionaire status to a billionaire status, you only get there by, that's right, little 10X representing, right? You guys like it? You only get there by providing massive, I can't figure out how, I'm flip the screen so you can read my shirt, massive value. Massive value. See, millionaires become billionaires because they have provided a disproportionate amount of value for the cost that they've charged the marketplace, right? When you give so much value that value exceeds cost so much that cost isn't even an issue, right? Then people can't help but give you money. And so that's what happens to millionaires as they grow and scale their business. I'm trying to, sorry, this camera thing is flipping me out, tripping me out. They grow and scale their business because they continue to give so much value, And so that is the key to go from being, what's going on, Shelby Pope? Hey, Rockstar. What's happening, Penny? Drop your resorts in the chat, by the way, guys. I want everybody to know where you all are from because I think that's the best part about this, because you guys always come in from different parts of the world. Check it out. I'm out here in gorgeous beach. My friend flew in from Colorado, from Telluride or Vail to hang out for the day, and I've been thinking all this stuff billionaire these days. Now, how do you even go to, number one, become a billionaire? You have to become a millionaire. To become a millionaire, you have to become a six-figure earner, right? You have to become a six-figure earner, and it all comes down to one thing. What is the amount of value that you are providing? What value are you providing to the marketplace? Because you'll never even get to six figures, let alone multiple six figures, if you're not providing value. And this concept, this conversation of value is so overcomplicated in our industry, right? It's so overcomplicated. Here's the problem. Everybody focuses so much. Sorry guys, I'm like tripping out on the camera. Everybody focuses so much on what? The steps of the sale, right? Like, oh, I gotta go through the 10 steps or the 12 steps or the 500 steps to the sale. But what happens is, or this is what I hear all the time, or they're focused on the script. But I got the script memorized, and I'm like, great, so then how are you selling deals? Because the script is actually the thing that's taking you away from selling deals. Know that. And it all comes down to one thing and one thing only, and that is value. What's going on, Jim? Harbor Walk, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. We got Savannah, Georgia in the house, and Penny is out in somewhere in Canada, I believe. Nikki, where are you based out of, by the way? And it all comes down to value, because one of the things that people forget to do is this. They forget to, what does value even look like? Like, what does creating value look like? I was on a conversation with a guy on Messenger the other day, and oh, by the way, several of these rock stars, were you guys in my challenge the last end of March? By the way, you rock stars, Penny rocked it out, Shelby rocked out the challenge. Guys, if you haven't joined the top bonus challenge, join the challenge. We start in, I think, like 4 days or 3 days, toplevelbonus.com. And we're gonna talk about so many different ways to create value, one of which is emotion, right? Emotion is the way that we create value, because when we get them emotionally attached to something, in their mind, there's value associated, right? So when you focus so much on the nuts and the bolts and the bells and the damn whistles and the like the 2-bedroom presidential versus how many points and all that crap, that is not what sells this. That is not what sells this. So I was talking to a kid the other day, brand new in Timeshare, so sweet. He's 22 years old, I think it is, and he says, Joni, I almost had a sale. I said, what happened? And he said, well, I think I just needed to build a little more value. I was like, okay, well, how could you have done that? He said, I think I should have, they owned another timeshare somewhere else, and I could have actually talked about that, well, and she didn't like the fees of having to buy with us, but she traded into our company all the time. And this was at Wyndham. And I said, oh, okay. And then he said, well, I think I could have actually told her that, you know, she wouldn't have to pay those fees anymore by exchanging in. And so do you guys think that's a little bit of logic right there, right? That's not considered value, right? And it could be considered value if there's an emotional connection that this person creates when it comes to that specifically. If they could actually say, would it benefit you if you didn't have to pay any more fees, yet you could access these properties? Would it benefit you if you could continue to access your WorldMark resort without having to pay $200 and whatever, $80 now, something crazy, almost $300 to do that? Like, well, yeah. And like, well, what would that mean that you'd actually get to go more? Well, maybe. And how would that make you feel, right? So these are things that we can do. What's going on, Dana Marie, Shockley? To create more value is to actually create emotion. And emotion, the art of creating emotion is really that. It's an art. It's an art. And one of the things that, I didn't know we were gonna talk about emotion today. It was really, but emotion is definitely, it's the key, right? And so when your managers are saying, you know, you're missing a step to the sale, you're not doing your tie downs, or you're not doing your intent statements, you're missing that, and no, you can skip all of that. Skip all of that if you are not knowing how to create value. See, I think the problem is half the time people don't know how to create value. Would you guys agree? Drop a 1 if you agree that people don't know what creating value really means. Hey, Jennifer Bailey. God, we got all the freaking top bonus challengers on this Facebook Live. By the way, if you want to join us, and Jennifer's in the next challenge, Shelby's in the next challenge. Penny, I don't know if you've joined the next challenge yet, but you pretty much rocked out the last one. So you might as well join this one since you hit your goal and your stretch. So super cool. But I think, do you guys think that people don't know what creating value really means? And he said, I think I could have created more emotion and really got them connected to this. And so why does value become an after conversation? Why do we realize that we didn't create enough value? And why don't we actually create the value at the time that we're doing it? Like, would it benefit you to know how specifically to create value so that you almost have checks and balances in place? You're like, okay, well, did I do that? Did I show them, based on how they travel, based on how they want to be sold, why this not only makes sense, because when it makes sense, that's also creating value. It's got to make sense, but the make sense is not what sells it. It's the emotional connection that sells it. The make sense part is what confirms it. That's the button up that we do at the end. What's going on, Mark Dozer? Landon just started 2 days ago, got my first deal. Your videos helped a lot. Thanks. Awesome, Landon. Love that. Thank you. Congrats on that. And so guys, how do you guys create value? I'm curious. Drop it in the chat below. How do you create, you guys like my shirt, by the way, for those just joining, billionaire in the making. I think sometimes we are scared to we're scared to put out what we're going for, right? And so I'm like, yeah, screw that. Why not? I'm billionaire in the making. I love it. So value is perceived. It's about what is important to them, not us. Yeah, that's a great point you bring up, Shelby. Value is perceived, and it absolutely is, because the problem with creating value is that how often do we sell them based on how we think they need to be sold? How often do we sell them based on how we think they need to be sold? And this is, guys, this is so important, this one part right here. Your sale is not made in the presentation, the pitch. Your sale is not made when you bottom out the price. That's not where like the yes comes in. The sale is made in the discovery, hands down. If you have a weak discovery, if you have a weak process of your discovery, that you really aren't getting down to figuring out what specifically is important to them, just like Shelby said, it's not about you. The discovery creates your blueprint to the sale. It is your blueprint to the sale. A bad discovery means no sale, period. It means no sale, period. And so that is how we find out. When you figure out what is specifically of importance to them, then you, sorry guys, I got my friend who's like got my dog entertaining him, so I'm gonna walk and talk. Yeah, your discovery is crucial. And so many people are like, oh, I build great rapport. I don't know why they don't want to buy from, I don't know why they just keep saying no, or they're so close, and they're not there because you're not creating that emotional connection. That emotional connection is actually value. That's value, right? Because you are not selling a funeral. You're not selling a funeral. They're not going to see the value unless they're emotionally connected to it. And that's why you're like, yeah, but I've taken them through all the dang steps, like all the steps. And I did a great rent versus own, then why was that not enough value, right? Talk to me about how else you guys create value. Everyone needs to take these lessons and put them to use on your tables. Awesome, Mark. Joni gave advice that I put to use and have my biggest year ever. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that, Mark. What was that specific advice? I'm sure everybody's dying to know now. I love it. No emotional connection equals no deal. It's true. And I think these reps, the ones who really struggle, and I don't know if this is you guys, but the ones who really struggle are the ones who are so logical, so in their head, so process oriented. It's okay, we can walk and talk. It'll be fine. My friend's running away with my dog because my dog, like, where's my mom? By the way, guys, if you have not joined I should have had my earphones in. Sorry, I hope you guys can hear me. The 10 days to top bonus challenge. You want to join the challenge. It's kind of, we had so many, I think we had almost 300 or over 300 comments in terms of wins and people breaking records, having their all-time best, record-breaking months. We had one guy come in who lost 2 deals. He lost 2 deals right before. Jason Canning's such a rock star. Lost 2 deals. He's like, man, my head's out of it. Because you know what happens when you lose deals? You start focus on the fact that you lost deals. So what ends up happening? You lose more deals, right? You start losing more deals. And he's like, I really need this challenge to start. By the way, Jason's registered for this month because he's a rock star that he is. And all of a sudden he gets in, he sells a $64,000 deal. You kidding me? Like a 16 and 18 and something else. Sold $98,000 in 4 days in the challenge. 4 days. And he's like, I'm so pumped. He just messaged, he's like, had a great start to his month because he was on right in the wave of the challenge, as so many of you guys are. And then he's like, now his head's like a little out of it. He's like, I can't wait for the challenge to start. I need it to start. So we for those of you who are excited about 4 days, maybe 3 days, I don't even know, I'm not counting. I think it's 3 days. Get in the challenge. It's absolutely no-brainer price. It's like less than a cost of dinner out. I only charge you because you won't value it. You won't show up if you don't actually pay something. And the fact is, we paid out thousands of dollars in commissions to people any person that you bring on, basically, I pay you for that. Like, you get your challenge for free. Are you kidding me? You literally are making money before you even begin. It's like total no-brainer. Who does that? Billionaires in the making, baby. Just kidding. Okay, so you guys think I'm funny. Join. It's a life changer. 308,000 in volume in 45 days to date on Frontline. Oh my God, Jennifer Bailey, you rocking it, girl. I haven't followed up with you to see how you were rocking it after post-challenge the last 15 days. Looks like you are just crushing it. You had an amazing month. Congrats to you. I love it. You'll be in this challenge. Yeah, so it's all about, guys, value. Talk to me, Jennifer. How do you create value? Mark, how do you create value on your tables? What is something that you do specifically to create value? And I think another way that we can create value is, other than, like Shelby said, it's never about us, it's always about them. Selling them value, and I say this a lot, like, value is perceived, guys, and it's not your perception that matters, it's theirs. It's theirs. So you've got to find out what matters to them, and sell them on that only, on that specifically. What matters to them? So how do you find that out? You freaking ask them. Why have you done this? Why have you not done this? Right? And what's prevented you from doing it? And take them deeper and deeper and deeper. And then your entire roadmap is created for you. And you literally sell them based on that freaking roadmap. Does that make sense? Deep, detailed discovery. Like, my discoveries were crazy long. And I think people so often skimp on their discovery. It's crazy how much people skimp on their discovery. I'm crossing a street. I'm like seeing my friend and my dog. Way over there somewhere. Thank you. People were looking at me like, you crazy chick. But yeah, it's, people skimp on the discovery, but the discovery is the most important part. If you're literally just filling out the survey and like thinking that's, oh, they got the survey, like the survey's all I freaking need, you're doing yourself a huge disservice and you're wasting their time and yours. You have got to throw that damn survey away, and you've got to just be present with them and be real. Like, have a real conversation. Find out what specifically their problem is. If there's no problem, there's nothing to solve. You guys get that? Drop a 1 if you get that. If there's no problem, there is nothing to solve. And what that means is that there is no pain. There's no pain. And when there's no pain, people buy because they want to get out of pain. People buy because their pain is so great that they will do anything to relieve themselves of that pain. People buy, they also buy because of hope for gain, but more people than not buy because they want to get out of pain. By the way, do you guys like my my new 10X hat? Who likes my new 10X hat? Is it a little extra? I know. Sometimes you just got to keep it real. So value is a real thing, and I think that if people would actually like understand what creating value means and know that it all relates back to the discovery, it all relates back to the discovery. If this is the one takeaway that you take away, just know that everything relates to the discovery. So in order to create value, you have to find out what is, thanks Shelby, you have to know what matters to them, and you have to write the dang questions out before and get so good at having like really deep level questions. Like, if you don't have these questions at the top of your head, then you're gonna like wonder, well, what's the next question? But the reality is then you're not being present, and then you're selling. People feel when you're not connected. They really do. They feel, that's my dog barking at the skateboarder. People feel, uh-oh, he fell, when you're not connected. And so it's cool to actually be real and have real conversations. You see me on the 10X stage, Penny? Aw. You know what? Grant Cardone actually, when I got my package in yesterday, I Instagrammed it out on IG at Joni Dillon, by the way, if you aren't following me, and it's still there, I think. And he actually regrammed it. I was like, what? I love it. Uncle G. Yeah, I can be on that stage for sure. I'm excited about that happening someday soon. So yeah, what questions do you guys have about value? And then my friend's like, can you get off that thing? Because he was forcing me to get on and now I won't get off. Ask a spouse, when do you know your husband and wife is ready for a vacation? Ooh, that's an interesting question. I like it. Ask your spouse, when do you know? And that's a really interesting question, Mark. Did I give you that one? Or I don't think I gave you that one. That's a good one. How do you know that your wife, or when do you know? I like how do you know that your wife or your husband is ready for vacation? That actually is a really powerful question. I like that you wrote that, because it gets them connected to like what their wife is or husband is saying, doing, behaving like, and it's bringing up the problem, right? It also brings up the problem, which is powerful. I love it, Jennifer. Nice. Yeah, it's strong. It's strong. And one thing that sometimes I think when we can add little nuances to our questions, it can really take them to another level. Like one question that you can ask is that same question, but add the word specific to it. What specifically does your wife do to let you know, that lets you know she's ready for a vacation? That's my dog. Diego is losing it. You guys see him? He is losing it. He hates skateboarders. My poor friend. Hilarious. Anyways, guys, I better hop off. So, you guys are rock stars. I love this conversation about value, and I know that you can never create value based on what you believe is of value to them. Sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting right. What you believe is of value to them, unless it comes from them. And when they can hear themselves actually state it out loud, as opposed to you telling them, so you get them to actually verbalize it and get them to hear it, it's really powerful. And so this whole conversation again goes back to the discovery. And so when you can become a master of your discovery, and I really like when discovery is conversational as opposed to scripted and structured. I think people don't like that disconnect that happens when you go off a script and ask, every question on your survey. But when you actually talk to me about that, why do you guys do that? And you just really get real and you loosen up, and it's like they're in your living room. And when you can talk to them like they're in your living room, I think that they start to feel more connected to you. You know what I mean? They need to hear it themselves. Yes. Do you guys ever talk to your people like you're in their living room, or they're in your living room and you invited them over? Do you ever try to get to that place where it doesn't feel like you're in a sales environment, but it's like, they're in my house, I want to treat them like my guests, but yet that deep connection and that ease and that flow, and yeah, we're just gonna chat, talk. I told that guy, the same guy who was like, I feel like I needed to create more value. He's awesome. Just want him to loosen up a little bit. I said, listen, this is what you need to do. You need to pretend, hope someone gets value out of this. I said, you need to pretend that you are a bartender. That you are a bartender. He's super logical, very process systems oriented, very cross your T's, dot your I's, spreadsheets, not spreadsheets, but And I said, you need to pretend you're a bartender. And they just walked into your speakeasy in Seattle. And they're on a date, and your job is to absolutely entertain them and show them the most incredible time. That's your job. And he's like, I never thought about that. Yeah, so how would you set the scene? What's the ambiance like? What's the lighting like? What are you doing with your cocktails, your craft cocktails, and how are you actually touching them and making them feel special, and creating that emotional connection? Like that. Does that resonate with anybody? Drop a 1 if that kind of, maybe if you don't drink, but if you do drink and you like cocktails, and you can imagine what it's like to be in a really great cocktail bar and have a really great experience. you know that time where you just like, it's just you guys and it's the bartender and you're like, holy cow, this is amazing. He's incredible. He's so attentive, and look at how he mixes that, and the attention to detail and all of that. Like, yeah, with emotion, stirring the drink. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, that's how you want to behave and treat your, it's like an interesting metaphor, really, or an interesting analogy perhaps, but it's real. Like, bring them into your space. Like, they just walked in, the music's playing, set the mood right, you got your sleeves rolled up, you know, and you got the look and the part, you're super chill and mellow, and you're kind of like, you're just easy. Anyway, hope that helps someone. Cool, guys. You guys are rock stars. I better go back to my friend. He's gonna go fly back to Vail if I don't. So, you guys are awesome. Join the challenge, toplevelbonus.com. I pay you to join. Turn around, get 5 of your coworkers in. You've made almost $500. Like, are you serious? Kind of a no-brainer. So, what's up, Marissa Schneider? We got a lot of 1%ers in the house. My 1% mastermind peeps are here because they show up. I love it. By the way, we had a super powerful call last night. That was amazing. Shifting through some crazy blocks and money blocks and all kinds of stuff. Shelby, did you enjoy it? Marissa, I think you hopped off. It was like almost midnight your time. But anyways, guys, you guys are amazing. Toplevelbonus.com. Hope to see you in like 3 days. And if you like money and you want to sell a lot and you want the momentum of this incredible group who's going to be there, we're going to have some freaking awesome interviews as well this time. I'm so excited about. By the way, the whole industry was talking about the interview with Jonathan Garcia last time, who sold $10 million last year in 2018 at Diamond. And I brought him on and interviewed him, and it was super powerful. So you never know who we're going to bring on. I'm working on some amazing stuff right now, and everybody's really excited. Everyone I approach is like, yeah, Joni, whatever you need, whoever, you know, anything to give back to these people. And I tell them, I say, listen, I don't just pick anybody to interview. Like, I want the absolute best talent in the industry, and I want people who I respect. If I don't respect your game, if I don't respect your flow, and like, I feel like you're pitching heat, you're not going to be in front of my people. You know, like, you have to be have so much conviction about what you do, about your product. You have to have so much conviction that is what gets you to those numbers, because you're thinking like this. You're thinking like a billionaire, right? And those are the people that I want on. It was nice. It was incredible. Wrote a 12K. Right on. Hit your no matter what. Love it, Shelby Pope. Yeah, it was a powerful call last night. I liked it too. All right, guys, you guys are amazing. Bring your friends into the challenge. Get paid. Toplevelbonus.com. We'll pay you on the back end. Literally, send you PayPal money. It's like, Joni Dillon just sent you some money. So if you like that and you want to sell, we've got people joining. A lot of top earners already joining, which I love. Like, people who are, and that's the one thing about people who are already excellent, is that they know there's another level to excellence. And so they join things that help them get to the next level. All right, guys, I'm blabbing now. Gotta go. You guys are amazing. Peace. Mariangela, we got another 1%er in the house.